There once lived a boy named Ikene. His face, though handsome, was always stained with dust and sweat. He sold gala and bottled water in traffic, weaving between cars like a shadow. People knew him for his politeness, but none remembered his parents, only that he slept under the pedestrian bridge at Ojuelegba, clutching his tray like a pillow. Buy Gala, pure water, he would shout with a voice hoarse from hunger, day in, day out. But one day Ikeni vanished, and when he returned 5 years later, Lagos trembled. No one could believe their eyes. The same boy who once begged for coins now drove a gold-plated Mercedes G-Wagon with tinted windows. He wore agbada stitched in Dubai and chains that sparkled like stars. He bought a mansion in Banana Island, another in Lekki, a resort in Calabar, and a glassy estate that stood alone by the riverside in Badegry. People whispered, "Is he a ritualist? Did he sell his soul to the forest gods? Or did he find a genie in the gutter?" He smiled but said nothing. When asked how he became rich, he only replied, "God is faithful," but the market women shook their heads. God blesses, but not with silence, something they hide. Iken lived alone in his favorite mansion, a massive coal palace surrounded by black marble lions. No visitor ever stayed the night. At sundown, he dismissed his staff and locked the gates himself. Those who passed by at midnight swore. They heard drumming, chanting, or whispers that sounded like children crying inside. Still, he gave generously to the poor, sponsored orphanages, and rebuilt 3 churches. Pastors praised him, politicians toasted him. He even received a national award from the president. But one person was not deceived, Olido, the sharp-eyed journalist whose tongue was as sharp as her camera lens. Olido was not like other girls. She didn't fear spirits or powerful men. Her grandmother was a priestess of Ani in Enugu, and her father had taught her that truth is the drumbeat of the gods. Ignore it, and madness will dance in your soul. She followed Eken secretly, studied his habits, watched his mansion, and noted that he visited the mansion in Badagry every Eke market day, alone after sunset. One night, disguised as a cleaner, she slipped into the compound. What she found chilled her too. The marrow. Behind a hidden panel in the kitchen wall, there was a narrow staircase. She descended it, phone recording, into darkness thick as charcoal smoke. Then came the stench of rot, sweat, and old blood, and then she saw them. Children, dozens of them, chained to the walls, their eyes blank, their heads shaved. Oledo gasped, and one of the children, barely 6, whispered, "He comes to collect our dreams." Before she could run, a hand grabbed her shoulder. Ikene stood behind her, smiling. Ikene did not always have a heart made of ice. Once, under that bridge in Ojuelegba, he had cried out to the heavens, "If there is a God who listens, let him take my soul and give me power." That night, a man in a crimson cloak appeared, but he was no man. His eyes were like burning coal, and when he spoke, the air turned sour. "I am Okunrobo, the god of broken packs. I can give you words beyond your wildest imagination, but it must be fed." "Fed with what?" Eken had asked, trembling. "Children," the god replied, "their innocence, their dreams, their sleep." Eken had said yes. Now, every market day, he fed the god dreams harvested from the chained children. In return, his hotels were always full, his cars never broke down, and money flowed into his accounts like rain in planting season. But gods who feast on the innocent never stay satisfied, and secrets, like smoke, always find a way out. Oledo never returned home that night, but she had sent the footage just before Eken took her phone. By dawn, the story had spread like wild Harmattan fire. The Inspector General of Police ordered a raid. Soldiers stormed the Badagry mansion. Eken was found sitting in his living room, sipping palm wine. "I've been expecting you," he said, smiling. They found the children. Olayedo barely conscious, and deep underground, a shrine of bones, skulls, and an altar stained with blood and gold dust. As they dragged the Kenny away in handcuffs, he laughed and screamed, You can't arrest me, but he's coming. Okunrobo never loses his servant. Thunder clapped, the skies darkened, and far away in the Atlantic something stirred. Ken was sentenced to life imprisonment, but he never aged. The guard said he talked to himself at night, whispering, Just one more child, just one more dream. Olaido recovered and wrote a best-selling book, The Gala Boy's Secret. She donated all proceeds to the rescued children, who now live in a special school named House of Light.